If you've built a life in the United States, you already know how much sacrifice it takes. Every mile traveled, every dollar saved, every moment spent away from loved ones, it all leads to that one moment when you finally hold your green card. It's supposed to mean stability, security, and belonging. But as we move through 2025, many immigrants are discovering that the meaning of permanent residency is changing in ways they never expected. Today, we're going to talk about what's really happening, what these new shifts mean for your daily life, and how you can protect your status and your peace of mind. Let's start with something that's quietly catching many people off guard: time spent outside the United States. For years, the general understanding was simple: avoid staying abroad longer than 6 months at a time, and you'd be fine. But recently, travelers have reported being questioned even after trips lasting just 3 or 4 months. Officers are now paying closer attention not only to how long you've been gone, but why you left and what you were doing during that time. If you rented your home out, accepted temporary work overseas, or left your children abroad for school, those choices could be viewed as signs that your real life may not be rooted in the U.S. anymore. Imagine traveling to care for an ill parent or to attend a family emergency, only to come home and face hours of questions at the airport. It's not just about time anymore, it's about intention. And that's why every trip outside the U.S. should now be carefully planned with documentation to prove your commitment to your life here. That brings us to the second major shift: proof of U.S. ties. In the past, simply presenting your green card at the airport was often enough. Now, officers may ask for concrete evidence that you still live, work, and contribute here. This could include recent pay stubs, a lease or mortgage statement, utility bills, or tax filings. One green card holder recently shared how he faced hours of questioning because during his time abroad caring for his sick mother, he had temporarily given up his apartment and job. Even though his intentions were good, the system interpreted it as a possible sign that he'd abandoned his residency. These situations can feel unfair, especially for families who balance responsibilities across countries. But in 2025, the reality is clear: your connection to the U.S. must be visible on paper, not just in your heart. Before any trip, make sure your records, from taxes to property documents, clearly show that your true home remains in America. Next, we have an issue that's become more sensitive than ever: traveling to certain countries. The Department of Homeland Security now uses an expanded risk-based approach when evaluating travel histories. That means green card holders who visit countries under sanctions or those considered politically sensitive may face additional screening on return. The list of these countries isn't fully public, but it's believed to include parts of the Middle East, South Asia, and Southeast Asia. Travelers from these regions have reported longer questioning, phone inspections, and in some cases, follow-up reviews of their social media or professional affiliations. This doesn't mean you can't visit your family or your homeland. It simply means you need to be extra prepared, keep travel records, maintain strong evidence of your U.S. residence, and know that officials may ask detailed questions. Many immigration attorneys now advise their clients to consult before traveling if their destination could raise flags. Being informed can prevent surprises at the border. Another development affecting many travelers is the expanded airport inspection process. Green card holders used to have a relatively smooth re-entry process, but with enhanced border technology and data sharing systems, Customs and Border Protection officers now have wider discretion to refer residents to secondary inspection. What triggers it? Sometimes it's a travel pattern, sometimes a data mismatch, and sometimes an algorithmic flag from a government database. During these inspections, officers may examine your phone, laptop, or social media activity. Officially, these measures are meant to prevent identity fraud and protect national security, but for many permanent residents, it can feel intrusive and unsettling. Once flagged, future travel can become more complicated, as similar checks may occur again and again. If you experience this, stay calm, cooperate respectfully, and document your experience. In many cases, hiring an immigration attorney afterward can help clarify or correct any misunderstanding that might affect future entries. Now let's discuss something that isn't openly called a ban, but in practice feels like one: the quiet return of country-based restrictions. Rather than issuing large public travel bans, the government now uses administrative reviews that can delay or freeze cases when travelers have connections to certain regions. Green card holders who travel to or through those countries may find themselves facing unexplained delays or even temporary holds on their re-entry process. Officials describe this as a matter of national security and data verification. But for affected families, it often feels like invisible punishment, separation without warning. Imagine attending a loved one's funeral overseas and discovering at the airport that your residency is under review. These are the moments that test both patience and faith. The best protection here is preparation. Always travel with complete documentation, keep your taxes and legal records current, and if you have ties to a sensitive region, seek legal advice before your trip. Perhaps the most emotional shift of all is the growing idea of conditional residency, something that isn't written into law, but is increasingly felt by immigrants across the country. A green card used to symbolize permanence. It meant you'd built a foundation here, and your right to stay was secure. But now, many residents feel they must constantly prove their loyalty and presence. A missed tax filing, a longer trip abroad, or even public comments on social media could trigger additional scrutiny. Immigration lawyers call it a loyalty review culture, a quiet transition from judging facts to judging perception. This has led to fear and hesitation. Some parents are afraid to visit sick relatives abroad. Some professionals decline overseas contracts. Even retirees pack stacks of financial documents before short trips, just in case. It's a stressful way to live, but understanding these new realities helps you plan wisely and protect yourself. And finally, we reach what may be the most crucial lesson of 2025. Never travel without a clear return plan. When officers evaluate re-entry, they now look beyond your green card. They want to see your intent, proof that you truly plan to continue your life in the United States. If you leave the country without a U.S. job, housing, or recent tax records, your return could be questioned. Some travelers have been asked to show leases, employment letters, or even school enrollment documents for their children. If you can't demonstrate a strong intention to come back, your residency might be seen as abandoned. And yes, in extreme cases, your green card could be taken. Officials say this is about protecting the system from fraud. Critics argue it unfairly punishes families in crisis. But no matter your opinion, one fact stands: you must show that America remains your home base. So before you leave, create a paper trail, maintain your lease, file your taxes, and keep active U.S. accounts. These steps could make all the difference when you come back. So what's the big picture here? 2025 is reminding everyone that holding a green card is not just about a document. It's about ongoing proof of connection, contribution, and intent. You can live here, work here, pay taxes, raise children, and still be asked to show that you truly belong. For many, this feels discouraging. But there's also power in understanding the rules clearly. When you know what officers look for, you can prepare, and preparation is protection. Your goal is not just to hold a card, it's to maintain your place in the life you've built. And knowledge is your best defense. If you found this information helpful, please subscribe to Legal Focus USA for more updates on U.S. immigration law, green card guidance, and policy changes that could affect your future. We're here to help you stay informed, confident, and secure in the country you've worked so hard to call home.